Over the weekend, one of the most horrific natural disasters we've seen in a long time hit the coast of Texas with Hurricane Harvey. Pastor David, I know our hearts have broken for all of those that are experiencing this in Texas. How has this made you feel just now being a Floridian? And also, what are we doing as a church to support what's going on?
Thank you, Matthew. And I'm so glad we're doing this because our people, you guys are amazing. Your heart to do something it's quick to respond, and so we want to make sure we're together and we're responding in the right way. I can tell you, as I watch the events unfold, I've got a lot of friends in Houston. I taught in Houston for a semester at Houston Baptist University, and that's flooded right now. I just began to think about what it was like being there. My brother used to live there. I've stayed there a lot. The thing that overwhelmed me was the helplessness. I mean, it was like something's happening. I can't stop it. I can't do anything about it. It really shows you, Matthew, how little we have control of our life.
Absolutely.
We don't have control. And therefore, it makes me so thankful that my trust is in Him.
Yeah.
And, some of the testimonies that have come out of that and some of the news stories, the interviews, I love it when people speak of their faith. Right. They speak of what they're holding on to. They may have lost a home or they may have lost a lot of stuff, but they didn't lose each other and they didn't lose Him. That's pretty cool. What we're trying to do right now, in fact, I just, before we did this and are talking, I just hung up from talking to the pastor at First Baptist.
Yeah, what's been our special connection to First Baptist Houston?
That is a great sister church, and they're very similar to us in a lot of ways. And their pastor is a young man, Greg Mott, that I have tremendous respect for. Greg and I have been friends for a while. He used to lead a big college ministry at Texas A&M, and that First Baptist Houston is his first church to pastor. So he called me early on and said, "Man, I need some help. I need you to talk me through this." And so we've been kind of bonded together because of our journey.
Right. But
just the personality, he's a lot like me in the sense of the way he thinks and the way he responds. And they are a lot like us.
Right.
And let me tell you about them something you don't know, or maybe you don't know. When the Pulse shooting happened, and we began to think, how can we help? What do we need to do? One of the first calls we got, one of the first churches to reach out to us was First Baptist Houston. And they said, "What can we do to help you?" And you know what those guys did? They sent a $10,000 check to say, "Hey, use this whatever way you can." So, man, when you have a church that is willing to help you that way,
right?
I mean, they're brothers and sisters. Yeah. They're walking with us, so we're walking with them.
Yeah, that blessing we passed on to victims of the tragedy we had just here in our community is one that we've recognized we get to show them in return in a moment of their need.
That's right. That's right, and we've already sent, so you'll know this, we've already sent a big check, actually wired the money on Monday. Thank you, Matthew, for making sure that happened. We got money to them, and he said they got it. I talked to him, like I said, just a minute ago. And there's more. We're going to be continuing to give. In fact, I think now you've got a button on the website that will take you immediately to...
We do, at firstorlando.com, right on our homepage. You can get more information about disaster relief. And I know we've had so many from our church community who have asked, how can I help? And the response, talk to us a little bit about that. Right now, it is obviously pray. There's obviously see what you can perhaps do financially to support. And then what's coming for us.
That's the big one. And so I told Greg, we'll do anything you ask us to do. And basically what is needed most right now is for people to work through a coordinated effort. Right. Instead of just, well, I know a family or I know a family. Work through a coordinated effort. One of the best groups out there, and they served us in Katrina, and they will serve us well here, is what's called the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief Team. It is one of the largest disaster relief teams, second to the American Red Cross.
Yeah, the network of churches we partner with
has
this incredible effort and arm that helps lead the way with disaster relief.
So we're in contact through our missions office. Bill Mitchell, our missions pastor, has talked to them, and we are awaiting their instruction. So what I think is going to happen, Matthew, though people want to give stuff. I'm not sure right now stuff is the greatest need.
Right.
I think the greatest need is going to be people.
Yeah.
And so what's going to happen is we'll begin to let people know, all right, we're sending a team. Now, those teams may be 15, 20 people,
Right.
but we'll send many over a period of time. The mud out, which is the term used to go into a house that's been flooded, to tear out a lot of the stuff where the water has affected it. The mud out will be happening over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
And maybe more, but at least. So we want to make sure that we respond appropriately over time.
Right.
And I think the best way is through just sending teams of people who want to go and who want to do physical work to help them to recover as much as they can in their home when they're able to get back to it.
Absolutely. And you can let us know if you're interested in participating in one of those teams for us to be able to share details with you as they become available to us by going to our website at firstorlando.com. You'll be able to click a button right there. And right now, you're just letting us know, hey, I'm willing, share more info with me as you've got it, as we know that local agencies, part of the federal government, also Red Cross and others are going in. They've got to wait for safety, and then they've got to assess the area.
Yeah.
And that's where we're in the holding pattern right now to get that all clear.
They may send us to Port Arthur. They may send us to other places in Louisiana.
Right.
So it's not that we will for sure be in Houston. We will be wherever the need is the greatest for us to be.
Absolutely.
And we're trusting them to know that and to assess that.
Yeah.
So what I would say is, we got about 20 ready to go. Because, Matthew, we have a great disaster team here at the church. And some of you have signed up to be a part of that. Some of you are already engaged with that team. Kenny Majors, one of our laymen, a great guy, man, leads an incredible ministry through the disaster relief team. I'm sure they're already engaged. In fact, I think there's about 20 of them sitting on go.
Right.
And when we hear the word, they'll go.
And they've got training, they've got certification. They're experts for this. Many of them volunteers, but a dedicated part of what they've done is they've served the church and others.
And I want to say to people, you'll be working alongside somebody like that. In other words, you won't be thrown into a situation where you're supposed to know everything, what I'm supposed to do. It'll be very simple. We'll have somebody on those teams that knows exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah.
We just need you there just to encourage, just to do whatever, tearing off sheetrock, pulling up carpet, hauling stuff out to the dumpster. I mean, it could be anything like that.
Absolutely. I think, David, this hits so close to home for us because so many have experienced, though we haven't had a direct hit in a while, what all of the emotions involved and just knowing a storm's coming. We've been spared in many ways of avoiding all the flooding and everything that's happening, but knowing what's going on in Houston is so relatable for any Floridian who's gone through this. And that's where our hearts are breaking, is lives have been lost, but we know who can provide hope. We know who can be the object of the love that we show, all centering around Jesus in these efforts.
I'm praying that the gospel, there will be opportunity for the gospel in this, that hope will be found in Him, because He is the only hope we have. The only certainty in life is our faith in Him.
Yeah. So you can go to our website, again, firstorlando.com, to be able to give financially, where 100% of those contributions go directly to disaster relief efforts. You can also let us know that you're interested in getting more info about possibly being a part of those teams that we're committed to for the long haul, not just in these initial weeks, but in the months and the years ahead, as Pastor mentioned, that are going to be going to the area. Any final thoughts?
No, it's just what a crazy world we live in, and the uncertainty of our time. And it seems like every weekend, we're talking about something or something's on our heart. And I just want to remind you that our faith is in Him. I prayed with the pastor this morning in Houston at First Baptist. He said, David, if you could pray this, I want you to pray for strength for our staff. And so I prayed over him the verse where in Isaiah, where the Lord says, those who wait upon the Lord, He will renew their strength. They will mount up with wings as eagles. They will run and not be weary, and they will walk and not faint. So maybe we ought to pray that the folks in the Houston area and all on the Gulf Coast, that God will give them strength, God will sustain them, and that they'll realize it was the Lord who did that, and it was God who provided for them. And I pray they will put their trust and their hope in Him.
Thank you for leading us. Thank you for showing your loving compassion as a model and example for us towards the Houston area. We'll see you continued online and this weekend upcoming at First Orlando.